I wrote these notes down and I just want to discuss them with you. I want to see what you think. You know, this is not me preaching to you. This is kind of more of a discussion. It's more of a thought. I want to see what you guys think. So, this really came from. I'm gonna have to throw the verse up on the screen somewhere. Somewhere over here, doohickey. And it's that verse that talks. And if someone know what it is, man, drop it in the comment section. But it's that verse that talks about where God says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of the Lord and all of its righteousness, and all of these shall be added unto you." I think right before that, he's saying, take no thought what you're going to eat for tomorrow. Don't worry about raiment for the body, man. If y'all done see my videos, I got the same jacket from like 2 years ago. You feel me? Take no thought, about tomorrow and all that. Your Father in heaven knows what you need. Man, look at the birds, man. I feed them. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's saying. So that got me to thinking, that verse combined with take my yoke upon you, for it is easy. If someone knows what that verse is, drop that in the comments, please. And that got me to really just thinking about my life. And really, it wasn't like I was thinking about that and then I thought about my life. A lot of times things just hit me out of nowhere. And I wrote this thing down called Take the Easy Way Out. Take the easy way out. I think so many times in life we're told, don't take the easy way out. I wonder where that comes from, because when I look at God's word, he tells me to take the easy way, which is his way. His way is easy. Why? When my Father is in it, bro, it's easy. Think about it. When you were little, if you were fortunate enough to have your father, some of us wasn't, I wasn't, shout out to the dads that's doing what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? But at a time when my dad was in my life, when something was very hard for me, it was very easy for him. Some of you got some of the greatest moms in the world. Think about that. You try to pick something up heavy. You try to carry something heavy. And your mom comes in. She steps in and she picks that thing up. And it's easy. It gets carried to where it needs to get carried. I feel like in our life, in our walk with God, our walk with Jesus, that's how it is. He says, take my yoke upon you. It's easy. But a lot of times we like, no, Jesus, chill out. Jesus, I got it. Jesus, hit the passenger seat. Jesus, I ain't got no GPS, but I know where we going and I'm driving. Nah, Jesus, I ain't even going to wear no seatbelt. Jesus, I got it. And then we crash and burn. And then we ask Jesus to save us and pull us from the burning car. So I want to talk about this. Take the easy way. And I got 4 little ideas for you. You know what I mean? Where people took the easy way. They did a very hard thing, a very easy way. So let's talk about David. First of all, man, being the king, bro, is like being the El Presidente. You the king, man. You can have all the women. Oh, okay, like, listen, but I'm just being real. Can we just be real? Can I be real with you? I mean, this ain't white, this ain't politically correct church on Sunday. I'm just keeping it real. Like, we got to talk about the human condition in this. But if you about to be the king, bro, you can have any woman you want. You can have all the money you want. You got all the power you want. You know what I'm saying? Think about that. You got soldiers. Like, you the man, for real. How many people would want to do that? In today's world, that would be like, hey, bro, you the CEO. You the CEO. You the CEO of a multi-million/billion-dollar company. You could go where you want to go, buy what you want to buy, almost say what you want to say. If you built it from the ground up on your own, you know what I mean? So, how many of us would not want that? Think about how many people are chasing that today. Think about how many people were chasing that maybe back in David's time. All right? And so, take the easy way. David is going to be king. Right? Think about this. He didn't try to be king. He didn't seek greatness. He seeked God. He didn't seek greatness. He seeked God. God said, I'm looking for a man that's out of my own heart. And God blessed him to become king. He didn't seek to defeat Goliath. He seeked to defend God's name and God's honor. Like, you have to think about this and look at how his path is working out. David's been told he's going to be king. Now, he could be like, hey, man, I'm about to be king. I got to start doing stuff. I got to make a name for myself. I trust God. God told me he going to make me king, so I might as well like build my resume up. I might as well build my repertoire up. I got to start doing king stuff. No, he didn't do that. He went back to the sheep. He went back to the sheep. And then after that, his dad's like, hey, bro, stop messing around with them sheep. Your brothers, the real men are on the battlefield. Why don't you take some food over to him? He gets over there and his brother's hating on him. Brother probably sour because brother probably mad at him because he like, hey, deep down inside, I don't know why the prophet said you gonna be king. So brother starts shaming him in front of everybody. Wait, why you down here? I know you here to stir up trouble. I know you a liar. Own brother hating on him. And David could leave. But he's like, who is this talking bad about God? He ain't even concerned with that riffraff that his brother talking about. He's like, yo, who is this? They're like, that's Goliath. Goliath is talking bad about God. And David, hey, man, why y'all all sitting here scared? I take care of it. Not because he want to build his repertoire up, but his resume up. But he said, this person is basically talking bad about God. Is that not reason enough? He said, man, is that not reason enough? He said, say no more, man. That's all I need. He said, that's all I need to hear. It's almost like David was like, they were chilling, David, and it was like Goliath said, Joe mama, and David was like, hey, get my sling. Bro talking about my mama. Hey, that's basically how David took it. You know what I'm saying? So David became king the easy way. He ain't have to try to marry into the family politically. He ain't have to try to make a name for himself and get rich and then, hope that he could get in the king's court and then trick everybody into hating the king so he could wiggle his way. He ain't had to do none of that. All he had to do was serve God and God took care of him. That's the easy way. He didn't seek a throne. He sought God's heart. Now, we see the same thing with Solomon, David's son. Solomon being made wealthy, right? Solomon the king, and he could have been like, hey, bro, I need some money, God. God's like, what you want? Like, imagine that. I'm not saying God is a genie. Let me say this 3 times. I don't want nobody to be misunderstanding me. I am not saying God is a genie. I'm not saying that God is a genie. But imagine if God came to you today and whatever your name is, let's say your name is Justin or Charlie or Sarah, whatever your name is, God came to you and said, Sarah, what's up, Sarah? It's me, God. And today, I'm going to do something that I don't really do. I'm going to be like a genie to you. And anything you want, I'll give it to you. You ask me for anything, and I'll give it to you. What would you ask God for? Like, think about that. Like, pause. Like, let's really pause and think about that. If God showed up to you and you knew it was God and he was like, hey, man, I got all power. I could do anything. And I'm going to do something for you. Anything you ask, I give it to you right now. What do you want? What would you ask for? Would it be a car? Would it be a promotion? Would it be for health? Would it be to never work again? Like, whatever you would ask God for, would it be inwardly focused? Or would it be for you to successfully accomplish the calling that God has placed in your life? Woo, say that again. If God came to you and said, whatever you want, I give it to you right now, would you ask him for something that showed that your desires were inwardly focused on you, or would you ask him for something to help you be successful in that thing that he's called you to do, in that thing he's created you to do, in that purpose that he's designed you to fulfill? That's what Solomon did. Solomon didn't say, God, stretch my empire. God, make me the greatest king. God, kill all my enemies. God, make my border safe. He didn't say that. He said, God, I'm king. And these are all your people. And I don't want to mess it up. Right? Lord, teach me how to lead them. Why? Because God is the one who sets up a king. Hold on. My stuff about to overheat. Hold on. All right. Had to fix that. All right. So God is the one that sets up a king, right? So Solomon understood that if God is the one that sets up kings and causes kings to fall, like, I need to represent God. You know what I mean? And so he asked for wisdom. And so he didn't seek wealth, he seek wisdom. And so because he sought wisdom, not for himself, but because he sought wisdom to lead God's people, because he sought wisdom to represent God well on the throne, God gave him both. Amazing. The easy way. Think about it, bro. Solomon did not become king and be like, I got to come up with ways to stretch the economy. I got to figure out how to write this bill. I got to come up with new ways to tax people and make them feel good about it. He ain't had to do none of that. He ain't have to do none of that. All he had to do is be like, God, help me serve you. And I believe I need wisdom to do that. And God's like, hey, man, because you didn't ask for this stuff for yourself, I'm going to bless you with that. Not only am I going to bless you with what you asked for, but I'm going to bless you with what you asked for in a way that's never been done for man before. And I'm going to hook you up with them riches. Now, let me tell you about me. Let me tell you how God blessed me. So I recently stepped out of corporate America and I did not have the money for my rent. And I remember, man, it's like 4 days before rent, bro. And I'm like, I'm scared. I ain't gonna lie to you. Can I just be honest with you? And I'm like, man, I'm trusting God. It's like in the Bible where it says, where Jesus asked the man, do you believe? And he says, I believe, but help me with my unbelief. And it was like that, man. It was like, dog, I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent, man. It's 4 days. And it's like, I believe God's going to come through. I believe all that stuff that he said. I mean, I believe all the stuff that I'm repeating that you say in your word. You said you never had a righteous begging for bread. Like, what's up, man? Like, I'm trusting in you, God. I'm not going to go look for a job. I'm not going to go do all these things. I'm going to do this path that I believe you put me on. And I believe you're going to come through. But I'm always wondering, what if? What if you don't? That's a hard thing to admit. I had people offer me money to pay my rent. Like, not offer to give it to me. I would have took it, right? Don't be the guy where you in the freaking river drowning and God sent 3 boats and you like, no, God gonna save me. I'm not saying I was like that. They was offering to loan me the money, right? They weren't offering to give it to me. So not having money, I didn't want to borrow money and use what I don't have and put myself in a hole. That's not what it was. But I want to tell you something, man. 4 days before my rent was due, I was supposed to go do a business deal or go to like a business networking event or something like that. And it got canceled. And that was the same day that it was a church event. And I was going to miss that church event to go to the business event. Shows you how there's that struggle, right? I should have been going to the church event. I should have been showing up to go be with God. But instead, my fear and my anxiety, led me to want to go to this business thing, right? I was taking thought for myself. I was taking thought for my tomorrow when God commanded me not to. And I believe that God allowed and set it up for me not to go to that event so I could go to church. I believe God was wanting to show me and guide me and teach me how to live this thing out. And I remember going to church, man. And as I'm at church, I go to the bathroom and this guy texts me and he reached out to me and he asked me about the services that I offer. I own a marketing company for those of you that don't know. And he basically asked me if we could do something that we had been talking about. And we set the price and the price was above what I needed for rent. And he paid 2 days before rent was due. Over $4,000. What's my point? My point is, all the things about trying to get rent, it could be hard. I could be going out there, hey man, I got this marketing company. Let me tell you about all these services. And it's 4 days before rent and I'm out there trying to close a deal. Hey man, you need some services. No, I had to do that. All I had to do was quit worrying, show up to church, praise God, worship God. My wife says, I believe God got something for you at church. All I had to do was go to church and be in my word. And my phone goes off. Ding. And it gets better. The day that the invoice came through, usually people don't pay their invoices fast. This invoice got paid the next day. But watch how good God's timing is. I want to show you how good God is and how easy it is. I walk through the door of another job for a client. And as I walk through the door, my phone goes ka-ching. Because anytime an invoice gets paid, it makes a cash register sound. He basically says, what's that? And how's the marketing company doing? I show him over $4,000 just came in. That created the social proof he needed in his mind for him to understand that I was out here doing good work and taking care of people. And then that led him to say, I've been thinking about switching my marketing company. And then he became my biggest client. Why is that so important? Because I have been trying to get that guy to be my marketing client for over a year. And it was hard. And the day that I'm not worried about it, the day that I'm just walking in God's will, not only do I get what I need for my rent to get paid, but God uses that blessing to set up another blessing. Look for the easy way. Now, this video running long, so let me give you one more. Me and the camera in the motorcycle business. So, like I said, I have another channel. And, I was like, man, I'm going to build this little product. I'm going to sell this product. And I did it, man. And it was so hard. It was hard to make this product. It was very hard. I had to have my mother-in-law come over, watch my kids, my wife. We had a newborn. I'm out there working. I'm in the sun sweating. I'm not joking when I say this. I'm in the sun sweating. I'm getting dehydrated. I got on all this motorcycle gear trying to make this product and film it. And I'm just freaking tired, man. I'm getting attacks from the enemy while I do it. I do all that, man, and for 2.5 years, because I'm like, hey, man, I want to stick with it. I don't want to start something and not finish it. And, I want to see it through. I believe it's going to work. And it was hard. And for 2.5 to 3 years, I put into this product. And you know how many sales I made? One sale. I made one sale, bro. One freaking sale. For a total of $86 in revenue. That's how much I made in 3 years. And I had really been feeling like God was really putting on my heart to get a camera. Because I had been doing filming and stuff, but I had been doing it with my phone. And I really felt like God was really calling me to get a camera. And I was put in a position where I could financially afford it at the time. And for those of you who don't know, I really love mountain biking. So I said, man, I could buy this camera, but I really feel like God's calling me to get this camera. And I have not really been obedient. So let me take away something I love in my life, which is mountain biking. I'm going to sell my mountain bike, use that to buy the camera. It's not that I can't buy it. I'm just going to sell my mountain bike, use that to buy the camera. And I'm not allowed to buy another mountain bike until this camera makes enough money to get another mountain bike. And this was like a way for me to like make myself be disciplined, basically. And I kid you not, it was like 2 or 3 days later, I got that camera. My church reaches out to me and asks me to do filming. They ain't even know I had a camera. They ain't even know. It's like, hey, could you film this thing? We seen some of your YouTube videos. Bruh, I start filming that, right? And I realized that I'm decent. You wouldn't be able to tell from these videos because I'm in my car. But I'm pretty decent at filming and marketing and stuff. And I said, man, at the time I was like, I don't know if I'm actually really good at this or not. Maybe I just got lucky. Maybe I just did it for myself. Let me go offer it to some business owners. Let me go offer it to some other people for free, So I offered to start doing YouTube and stuff for free for other people. And when that happened, I wanted to stop and they offered to pay me. They said, hey man, we really like what you're doing. We really like your work. Like, don't quit. How much could we pay you to keep going? And that basically turned into a marketing company that I have today. So what's the point is, one of my mentors said, why are you trying so hard to do that motorcycle thing? Do you like that filming thing? I said, yes. Do you like that marketing thing? They said, yeah. They said, and you're making money off of it? I said, yeah. They said, are you trying to make money off of it? I said, no. So why are you bumping your head against the wall doing that when obviously you enjoy this thing, you're pretty good at it, and people are literally throwing money at you? So my point is, by being obedient to God, getting that camera, the thing that I've been trying to do for years, which was make money on my own outside of corporate America, it became easy. So just follow God. Take the easy way out in life. I'm out. If this video resonated with you at all, like and subscribe. Thank you for being here, listening to me rant. I'll see y'all on the next one.